we'll see. But it could be a possibility, but I could also not be available for that game too. I think just having good perspective is the best way to approach it. Like, yeah, you can be frustrated and whatnot, but I think the medical team has done a really good job.
The WNBA was stunned by the latest injury update on Caitlin Clark, and it was the last thing the league wanted to hear.
This type of injury, like, you don't know when I wake up, I'll feel, different than the day before. And
this is the first time we heard from Caitlin since the team announced on Memorial Day she was dealing with a left quad strain. She would be out for at least 2 weeks.
We were told that Clark was not seen in the open portion of practice by reporters who are on the ground there.
Just watch and absorb it, and it's the same when, I'm not.
The concern is easy to understand. The league has come to rely heavily on one player, and she has been pushed so hard that she can no longer play at her best or help fill arenas the way she normally does.
Yeah, I'll be reevaluated this weekend, so I'll miss this weekend's game, but after that, it's, day by day and see how I feel and just kind of turn to the medical staff.
When Caitlin Clark finally addressed her injury, many people were surprised to hear that she would not be returning sooner than expected. But was anyone really expecting that? After taking constant hard hits throughout the season, it's no surprise she's choosing to take the time she needs instead of rushing back onto the court.
I think the medical team has done a really good job of, doing my rehab every single day, staying in a routine, coming in, getting shots up. But more than anything, I think just focusing on being a really good teammate, being there for my teammates, being a voice.
During a crucial game on May 25th against the defending champion New York Liberty, Caitlin Clark went down and grabbed her left quad. She is the team's biggest star, its most valuable player, and the league's top attraction, yet the situation didn't seem to be treated as seriously as many people expected.
Been told so far by the team is that this is actually an injury that was separate from the quad tightness issue, as Caitlin Clark described it earlier in the preseason, that she dealt with before. So it's a little bit of an interesting situation given that it was the same.
On Memorial Day, the Fever officially announced that Caitlin Clark would be out for at least 2 weeks. That news immediately shook the league, which seemed to lose momentum without its biggest star. Clark later confirmed she would also miss this weekend's game, and said her return would depend on how she feels each day. She's clearly not willing to risk her long-term career by coming back too soon, especially after spending so much time taking hard contact without enough protection on the court.
Was asked when she's expected to come back. She told us she would be reevaluated after the weekend. After that, it would be day by day. The Fever are on the road for 2 road games before coming back to Gainbridge Fieldhouse next Saturday.
June 9th is the scheduled date for Caitlin Clark's reevaluation. And while fans are eager for her return, her health has to remain the top priority. She's a player, not a marketing tool, and there's no reason for her to risk a more serious injury by coming back too soon. Even while recovering, Clark has stayed committed to her team by watching games closely, learning from the sidelines, supporting her teammates, and leading through her presence. Meanwhile, many fans believe the WNBA failed to do enough to protect its biggest star, and that frustration has only increased since she got hurt. The effect of her absence was immediate, especially on the business side of the league. The June 7th matchup against the Chicago Sky was expected to be one of the biggest games of the season, with fans looking forward to another meeting between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese. But after Clark was ruled out, ticket prices dropped dramatically. Travel plans were canceled, hotel bookings were called off, and many fans decided the trip simply wasn't worth the expense anymore. It wasn't just a small decline in demand, it was a major drop that highlighted how much the league depends on Clark to attract fans. For many people, she's the main reason they buy tickets and watch games, and her absence has made that reality impossible to ignore.
Telling us she's been a connector between her coaches and teammates. They've gone 1-2 without her, and they'll be without her again this
Q7 on social media. Hashtags like #ProtectOurPlayers and Boycott WNBA quickly began trending as fans expressed their frustration. One viral post asked, "Why support a league that can't protect its best player?" and it was shared thousands of times. Fans are no longer staying quiet. Their disappointment has turned into anger, and many believe the league has repeatedly failed its biggest star.
So I think that's just kind of been the time for me to like really find some patience, and I've never been a patient person my entire life. So this has definitely tested me a little bit, but I think it's going to be really good for me. And like I said, I've just tried to approach it in the best way I possibly can. You know, I can't.
Ticket prices for Fever games dropped significantly, with the average price falling from around $137 to $80. This wasn't just a marketing problem, it had a much bigger impact on the league. When its biggest star went down with an injury, it exposed how heavily the WNBA depended on one player without having a solid backup plan.
Girl is spectacular. It's not like she's not a scrub. She's not only can play, she's a star caliber player who draws.
What frustrated many fans the most was seeing some of the penalties reduced or overturned. Instead of holding players fully accountable, many felt the league sent the wrong message by not taking stronger action. Critics have also questioned the WNBA's disciplinary process, arguing that it has been too inconsistent. They believe the level of physical play has become excessive, with some games looking more chaotic than controlled. As players continue to get knocked around, many fans feel the league is doing too little to address the situation and better protect its athletes.
Player is injured. If the other team knows that a player is injured, they will.
Caitlin Clark's absence has highlighted just how much the WNBA depends on her. Without its biggest star on the court, excitement has dropped, attendance has slowed, and ticket prices have fallen. Many fans feel the league hasn't been able to maintain the same level of interest without Clark, while other star players have struggled to generate the same attention and excitement she brings to every game.
And I'm being a really good teammate, you know, being there for my teammates, being a voice for them, you know, because that's what I am when I'm playing. So you got to still be that consistent voice when I'm sitting on the bench. So I try to do that as much as I can for them, and just try to be there for them.
This isn't about competition anymore. It's about poor decisions. And fixing the situation isn't Caitlin Clark's responsibility. That responsibility belongs to the league. Since Clark's injury, many fans believe the WNBA has struggled to maintain the same level of excitement and attention. TV ratings declined, attendance dropped, and the overall energy around the league noticeably faded. The Indiana Fever also went 1-2 without Clark after their first win, and that victory came largely because Ari McDonald, who had just joined the team on a hardship contract with almost no practice time, stepped up with an impressive performance and helped carry the team.
That you guys told us during the offseason about playing quick, playing with pace, pushing the ball up the court, everyone run. They weren't doing that, especially in the...
Fans definitely noticed, and the reaction online was immediate. Social media platforms like TikTok, X, and YouTube were filled with posts about Caitlin Clark's injury, with many fans expressing anger rather than just disappointment. People called for better player protection, stricter officiating, and changes in how the league handles physical play. Many believed the WNBA should have acted much faster after its biggest star was injured. But critics felt the league's response was too slow and did little to address the concerns being raised.
That this is a sort of situation where the next 2 weeks, luckily for them, the schedule is a little bit playing the Chicago Sky, the Connecticut Sun, who haven't won yet. So they are trying to hold down the fort for now while Caitlin Clark...
Even some Chicago Sky fans who were excited to see another matchup between Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark publicly said they were requesting ticket refunds after Clark was ruled out. One fan summed it up by saying the game simply wasn't worth attending without Clark on the court. That reaction says a lot about her impact. When fans decide to skip watching their own team because the opposing team's biggest star isn't playing, it shows just how important Clark has become to the WNBA and why her absence creates a major challenge for the league.
Was sick. You could hear it in her voice that she was sick. It seems like at this point, this is the reason why we haven't seen Caitlyn at 100%. We haven't seen her as quick as we saw.
Many fans believe the league's problems became much more obvious after Caitlin Clark's injury. Frustration grew over hard fouls, questionable officiating, and what critics saw as a lack of response from the WNBA. As complaints spread across social media, many supporters argued that the league wasn't doing enough to address their concerns or hold people accountable.
A lot of stuff when you're in the heat of battle, and after the game I had some pain and then, got an MRI, and that kind of gave me the result that I didn't want to see, but, those type of things don't.
Commentators and fans continued to criticize the league, with many sharing clips of overly physical plays they felt should have been called differently. As the debate grew, many people argued that the WNBA depends too heavily on just a few stars instead of building excitement around more players. Fans questioned why bigger names like Aja Wilson and Sabrina Ionescu weren't receiving more attention, while others felt the league could have done a better job promoting multiple rivalries and storylines at the same time. Instead, many believe the league has become too dependent on one major attraction. And for now, there doesn't seem to be an easy solution.
It's going to be longer than 2 weeks. With them saying a minimum of 2 weeks, I feel like that's kind of just giving us breadcrumbs, just giving us enough information. And I actually don't think that they're going to give more for the sake.
Caitlin Clark's injury affected much more than just one player. It had a major impact on the entire WNBA. After she went down, many fans felt the league lost momentum, with excitement, fan engagement, and business all taking a noticeable hit. Her absence became a major turning point, and supporters began demanding real answers instead of simple statements. Many are now asking why there seems to be such a difference in resources, pointing out that the NBA has advanced player management, modern technology, and specialized training staffs, while they believe the WNBA still has room to improve in those areas.
We haven't seen her as quick as we saw her last season. If you have something going on in your legs, like your legs are actually a huge part of your shooting mechanics, something was thrown off. So if that part of her body was thrown off, it probably threw off the entire.
Fans have made their message clear. They want the WNBA to invest more in player safety, enforce tougher penalties for dangerous plays, and do a better job protecting its stars. Caitlin Clark's return is still uncertain, and many believe she shouldn't rush back until she's fully healthy and the league proves it can provide a safer environment. Her absence has shown how important she is to the WNBA, and many fans believe the league must take these concerns seriously if it wants to keep its momentum.
Clark's been taking a beating for the last year and a half, and it quickly got physical early in this season, man.
Fans are making their demands clear. They want the WNBA to invest more in player safety, improve officiating, and make sure dangerous mid-air contact is properly addressed. They also want better training for teams, so shooters are not constantly getting shut down night after night. Caitlin Clark's return is still uncertain, and many believe she should not rush back until the league proves it can truly protect its players. She is now seen as more than just a player. She is the league's biggest draw, a major source of attention, revenue, and overall growth. Many fans feel the WNBA is at a turning point and must act quickly to improve safety and consistency, because her absence has made her importance impossible to ignore, and the pressure for change is only increasing.